Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 for some more multiplayer racing, and for an interesting one. I don't know how well this is going to go. It's a little bit more of a mad regulation set than we perhaps might normally run. This is, well, we're using cars from the Rally Monster category at mid S1. That means 850 PI. These will be very quick. These will be very powerful. This is an all off-road race, so it's going to be, I think, quite manic, if I'm honest. I have an Audi Quattro that has a turbo V8 put in it, because reasons. The V8 is normally pretty damn powerful in terms of an engine, a pretty good engine to go for. We've got the anti-lag turbos going on. Yeah, most of these cars here will have quite a lot of power and not a huge amount of weight. The Opals in particular, I think, are very, very light. There's quite a few of those. The Nissan, the Safari 37s that have no idea about anything on that one. It's a bit of a mad category. In fact, I'm the only one that's gone for a Quattro. Admittedly, they do start off quite high in terms of PI, but yeah, there's actually more duplicates of cars than I expected. There are quite a lot of cars in this category, but we shall see how this is all going to pan out. I think the answer I've just realised is my gearbox might be a little bit useless. Why is that such a stupendously short gearbox? We might get away with it around here, maybe. That might have to get changed in between rounds a little bit. Oh god, that's not the exit that we were wanting. You can tell I forgot to check my gear. Oh god, there's a little bit of a laggy Nissan, but that's fine. We will jump through the water. Can I do anything? Oh, someone missed a checkpoint there. Yeah, that corner, I think, apologies. Don't think the Nissan realised that is a pretty much flat out corner in a lot of these cars. Through there. Oh, careful. Right, can I actually do anything about chasing down the three leaders? I do not know. It's a Subaru, Opal, and something else. I'm not quite sure what the something else is. We will see in a minute. Might be an RS200. It might be another Manta no, it looks like there's two Mantas in third and fourth. Okay, Quattro. It's certainly not terrible to drive. There's no massive, it's an RS200. Christ, the long-range car spotting is not good. Yeah, it's not terrible to drive. I don't know whether we'll have the pace to go chasing after the top cars. We're always going to struggle when you're further down the grid. It's always tough to kind of work your way forward in these races. We will be flat through there. We can leave it in fifth, and the car will grip. We'll carry, it's pretty good speed through that section. I think there are bits where we're quicker than the cars ahead, and there are bits where we are not, and that is a Manta missing a checkpoint. It's easily done in some of these corners. It's one of those things that, especially on a track like this, with cars like this, where you are really pushing the limits, you're really, really going for it. You're going to find bits of lap speed by essentially playing it risky with missing the checkpoints, and well, sometimes you ask a bit too much of the car. So now it's our turn to put as much pressure as possible on the RS200. It's a proper Group B rally showdown, if you will. Can we get the front end to turn in through here? Mostly. It's certainly by no means the worst car I've driven, although I don't think it's quite as good. I don't think it's quite as good as the Ford through this opening section, but I think it's better in the latter half of the lap. Certainly was, I'll tell you what, the jump over there is quite impressive. Yeah, we certainly seem to, oh, that's a bad line through there. That's going to strip me out into the wall, but all the hard work has been undone. That being said, the Ford just had a tremendous wobble coming off of the bridge. So yeah, as you can imagine, these cars are not the easiest things in the world to drive. It is easy to get in a little spot of bother. Fourth gear maybe for the exit. The RS200 is clean out of the hairpin, and we have got a lot of work to do in the closing couple of laps. Don't know whether we can. I will give it as, the best shot that I can. I think maybe plus point with the Audi, I think it might be a little more stable if I don't make any mistakes. The RS200 looks a little bit twitchy and a little bit difficult to drive in a couple of these corners, I don't have that. I've made silly mistakes, but it's not difficult to drive the Audi, which is always a bonus. I can just throw the car through these corners with some confidence that I know what it's going to do, which is always nice. We've had a much better first section through all of that. Ford has made a little error through there as well. Again, it's only a small brush on the wall. It's enough to keep us in the fight, definitely. We are there or thereabouts having a look. And the RS200 has slid wide and bumped the wall, and that is the sort of stuff that we want to see. That is good news for us here. If we can keep the pressure on, then we might be able to find our way past, heading on to the final lap of the race. Got a big gap back to 4, which always helps. We can kind of just focus forward in this one. Where is a pass going to come? On the exit of turn 1, maybe. We're not quite close enough for the acceleration zone here. We'll cross over in the air, that's fine. Can we get to the inside? No, almost. Not quite. We can get there, but it'll be slow on the exit, so it's almost not worth it. We will try. Oh, we're just falling out of them. I don't know. I swear I wasn't going particularly fast through there. You just sometimes get chronic understeer through that corner. You end up out of a rhythm, or you end up out of a group somewhere. You can just end up in a whole world of pain, and we got spat out wide, and there was not much we could have done about it. And again through there, actually. I think it's just not quite got the car hooked into that corner. We threw everything at it. A little error. Very costly in the end. The RS200 is going to hold on unless there's a big mistake between now and the finish line, which I think will be unlikely. We got beaten by a couple of banked corners, and that is that really. It's still a podium, helped by other cars missing checkpoints. However, yeah, little errors on the final lap just dropped us back. Bit of a shame. Up until that point, though, it was a rather good race. We do not have the pace of the Subaru up at the front, but we were pretty much the second quickest car, actually, which is good. Yeah, we had some speed. When you get things right, I had some pace in the Audi. Just, yeah, really bad final lap. Cost us greatly. There's Opals in 4th and 5th, and 6th, in fact, in this one. Yeah. Not a bad first race. Could have been better, basically. We head to a plenty fast circuit for our next race. I'm hopeful that my vehicle is going to be good here. Not 100% sure that it will be, but we can give it a try. I actually sorted the gearbox out, so it's vaguely useful, because I didn't realise it got cut unbelievably short. And this is a fast track at the end of the day. Now, there is some tarmac to contend with. I don't know why my car would be any worse than the other vehicles around it. I mean, it's got pretty impressive wings, fairly decent sized tyres, although I'm pretty sure everything here is going to have pretty big tyres at the end of the day. I mean, the point of this category is they're all, rally monsters. The point is they're all ridiculous rally cars. So, yeah, they're all going to have, hopefully, half decent sized tyres. We will make the most of the ghost mode early on, even if we almost escaped checkpoints through there. This is another circuit. To be fair, quite a lot of the dirt circuits can be, but this is another circuit where missing checkpoints is very easy to do. It's easy to get carried away and to get into trouble. Whether we can chase down... In fact, it seems like we are back to chasing down an RS200. It slid into that wall. A little too much speed through there, got a bit carried away. And it's, in the day, it's a bit of a learning experience. Don't think I've ever driven this circuit with a vehicle quite like this before. I don't drive this circuit all too often either. But yeah, you're just not 100% sure what the car can do from the off. So you push, and many times it's a bit or you can just actually get turned in where you didn't expect to. That is not so helpful. I turned in expecting some more understeer through there, and it just gripped, and at that point it was too late. I think I was expecting there to be bumps there as well that would fire the car wide, but nope, nothing. It actually gripped and turned in really well. So that sometimes happens as well. You're trying to be clever, you're trying to always predict what the car is going to do, and in that instance, yeah, we were not clever, we did not predict what it was going to do, tried to be sneaky, tried to make up some time, if you will, and yeah, silly errors. It looks very dumb, but it is just one of those things that can happen. Oh, we've seen plenty of missed checkpoints in race 1, my turn to miss some in race number 2. Oh, we got loads of speed through there. We'll give the Subaru a little helpful bump as we head onto the tarmac. That time around, well, we were making the corner. Subaru ran a little bit wide. We we helped it a smidge, but yeah, we are up to a 9th place. I mean, 6th is very much in our sights. Oh, it looks like someone else, the Subaru, Finland borders missed the checkpoint, so that's another place for us. Peugeot looks all sorts of twitchy up ahead. We will not get ourselves into trouble this time around. We are to the outside of the Peugeot. We are not going to quite catch to... Is it the Ford? Is that the M Sport Ford in front of us? I think it is. We will move ourselves up into 7th, though, around the outside of that Peugeot. Don't hit the wall. You'll do a front flip, and that is not conducive to a good lap time through here. Maximum bravery, I think, is needed, and maximum bravery will get us to the inside of the Ford. Just don't miss a checkpoint again. Is 5th within the realms of possibility? I mean, if our car is genuinely fast here, maybe. It doesn't look a million miles out of reach, actually. As I think it's a Manta ends up through the trees. Shadow and Ford may be a bit too far away. It's not impossible. If our car is genuinely very fast, it might not be completely impossible. I don't think it's that fast necessarily, but we're going to give it a damn good try. It's just full attack at the moment. And if we miss another checkpoint, we miss another checkpoint. I say, what have we got to lose? Oh, I mean, what we've got to lose is probably a 5th place as we come soaring past the Manta. I will take that, thank you very much. Can we, in 2 laps, chase down Shadow's Manta? I mean, the leaders are miles gone. I could probably have kept pace with them if the first race is anything to go by, or a little bit more kept pace with them. Whether I could have taken 2nd, I don't know. We got a twitch. That is the just trying to absolutely go for it and get myself in trouble through that section. It's not the worst twitch in the world. It costs you a little time with a bump on the wall, but it's not going to completely put you out of contention in terms of the race. We are definitely catching Shadow's Manta here. It's going to be close. The amount we're catching at a lap and, well, how much time we have left to go, if there are no mistakes from either of us, it's probably going to be a send through this section on the next lap if we get close enough. Although the Manta with a very big slide up ahead, that helps me out massively. So big oversteer moment like that will definitely make life a little bit easier for me. Full commitment through the final corner. It's not quite as close to missing a checkpoint, which is good. Alright, we've got a whole lap to look for a way past Shadow here. The Manta, I think the downside for the Manta is a light, but I don't think it gets particularly big tyres, so it might not be the easiest thing in the world to drive. I would imagine it would be all-wheel drive converted, because everything else in this category would be. We slide up and hit the wall, but I think we're going to have the acceleration out the other side. Wasn't the cleanest or the best pass I've ever done, but it is a pass nevertheless, and I think we might have the speed to sort of just consolidate this position. Yeah, we got the speed through there, just pull away from Shadow. We have got a couple more corners to go. I mean, we have ended up in the position we were when we missed the checkpoint on the first lap. We've climbed our way back to 4th. It's not been a bad recovery drive for the Audi here. It was a silly error by me at the start. We've had an interesting recovery drive, and the Quattro is definitely fast, although it feels quite spread out in this one, which did make my life a little bit easier here. Whee! There's a big slide and clonk on the wall. That was a little bit unfortunate. It's been a scruffy final lap. I mean, a 107 is probably quite achievable with that car if I get it right and don't get stuck in traffic. I doubt that's going to be enough to beat the top cars. We will have a look. Nope. But we were faster than the RS200. But yeah, just not quite quick enough at the end of the day. But I will settle for 4th. Could have gone worse. We are heading into our next race. Oh, with a lovely spot on the grid. I mean, I'm happy enough about that. We've got a quick Manta alongside us. I think it's going to be probably the battle around the podium spots. Steve Subaru seems far too quick for us to deal with. Sometimes we might be a bit faster than Pebbles Manta, sometimes not. We'll see how things go at this track. And this is a more tarmac circuit than we have dealt with so far, perhaps. Yeah, it's not the biggest dirt sections around here for the cars to have to deal with, so if your vehicle is likely to be one of the faster ones on tarmac, you're probably going to be good here. If you're better in the serious dirt stuff, probably going to be a little bit weaker. I mean, all of these are more dirt focused, of course, but there's probably going to be some vehicles with handling traits, or potentially even just drivers that prefer one or the other. Either way, we've not had a great start. The Manta's been sent very sideways through there. I mean, it was spectacular. I don't think the bump on the wall was necessarily the way to go, but it looked cool, I'll give you that. Certainly, we have not quite got the pace to keep up with it immediately. I think we maybe do better on the full dirt stuff against that Manta. The Subaru is already up to... Oh, that's too much speed through there. We are going to try and get out of the way rather than create a roadblock. Yeah, that was just too much speed into the chicane. I forget slightly what we're driving at times. These are pretty mad cars, although we're back to the inside of the Subaru. We are alongside... I might have more grip than the Subaru in some of these slower corners. The Impreza much faster down the straights and much earlier on the brakes, actually. So the Impreza does not have the grip through the corners, weirdly, but it is an absolute monster under acceleration, which I can't quite keep up with, and then I can't take a line through a corner, which doesn't help matters. There is a bounce wide for me as well, which is less than great. It is maybe a little bit more of a technical circuit than we have seen for some of the previous ones. Shadow is right behind. The RS200 is catching as well. Now I've got to really not make a mess of this corner. Remember, you're not in a, grippy A-class car. This has got a lot more speed and a lot more understeer than some of the vehicles that I have driven around this circuit before. That's much more like it. We've done this last lap around. We might have had a very different story in this. The lead Manta's not actually pulling that much away. If anything, we've perhaps caught it this lap a little bit. Certainly Steve is right there. If they start fighting one another, I think there's a good chance for us getting involved. Maybe not for the win, but we might be able to get the Manta for second if the Subaru can find a way past, or maybe we could sneak past if they both end up screwing each other over. I just need to not make any mistakes with my Audi, and I'm doing the best of jobs in some of these corners. So the Manta seems to be very slidey. We've seen that a little bit. That's not the biggest surprise to see it struggling with grip. They are going side by side and fighting for position. The Opel is going full classic rally, sideways everywhere, but it's not all that quick. Subaru is very much looking for a way past. We're now going sideways through the corner that I don't seem to like in this car very much. Manta's going to fight back to the inside and will potentially hold that position. If I hadn't been so out of shape, I could maybe have tried to profit from that one. Manta's going to go for a cutback into the final corner. They're slowing each other down a bit. I'm almost overdriving, desperately trying to keep up with this fight, I think, at the moment, which isn't really helping my case. Manta's around the outside. That's a brave place to stick your car, and it's held on. It's held on and might actually outrun the Subaru into the next corner. Not sure. Oh, Manta's missed the corner. Great cutback from the Subaru. Subaru takes the lead of the race. And I mean, that's what I wanted in some ways, in that they have slowed each other down. I have caught up to the Opel, and we will be looking for a way past here. I don't quite know where the pass is going to come, if a pass is going to be able to materialise. The Opel is very slidey. But it's making good speed considering it is very oversteery by the looks of it. I'm just going to be slow into this corner and focus on trying to be fast out of it, which does work quite nicely for us this time around. Yeah, the Manta's struggling in these corners. We are now all over the back of it. Can we find a way past like the Subaru did a lap ago? I'm trying to get on the power. The problem I have is I just can't match these other cars for straight line speed. I have 600 odd horsepower, but it's not enough to match these. We've got more grip in the corners, but we are struggling to match this. I mean, the Opel might not have more power than us. It's probably lighter. That's the difference. I mean, every car here is light, but the Manta will, I imagine, be the lighter of the two. Opel is again a little bit wide through there. I'm trying to have a look for any which way past. The Manta with the huge slide. It's still got the power down quite well, almost susceptible to a pass there. We were looking and looking, it's every which way. We are now having a look, trying to find a way past. It's going to be in the final corner if it's going to happen, I think. Still, we can't do it. Now, we are a little closer than we were last lap around. Through here, we know we struggle at this corner. The Manta did it very, very well. We did not. We were just a little bit out of sorts through there. Can we duck underneath here to try and compromise the Manta into the final turn? We do. It's going to be a drag race to the line here. Come on, Audi. You can do this. It can't quite. Great race. Fought as hard as we could. Just got... Yeah, ended up on the wrong side of the Opel. Couldn't quite beat it on the run to the line. I mean, maybe we might have had a little bit more. I don't think we could quite match the Subaru, but we were definitely closer around there. It was a great scrap for between me and Pebble over that second place. And Shadow and Silver were both quite close as well. In fact, the RS200 was mighty fast in terms of lap speed, but got stuck in the fights. Oh, that was a very, very good race. That was a very good race indeed. Gutted I couldn't quite get second, but we had a wonderful battle nevertheless. We head to a cross-country circuit next, the kind of temple circuit, if you will. This is a rather different sort of challenge than what we have seen in the past. I say in the past, in this session, if you like. It's quite a technical track in some ways, this one. I'm expecting to see the same vehicles towards the front here. The Subaru, for sure. We're likely to see the Manta. We're likely to see my Audi, the RS200. Are all potentially going to be quite quick around here. If anything, this might favour my car slightly more than certainly than the likes of the Manta. Also being full, the whole thing being on dirt. If there are any cars slightly struggling perhaps with tyre widths or something, this may well help me a little bit. The Manta is very sideways to the inside, although it is, full dirt is wider than perhaps a traditional circuit, which might help if the Manta is very slidey. It might help get away with covering that up a little bit. You've got a bit more space to play around with. We're going to go wide, try and... Whoop. I mean, it's about getting the exit speed on that Manta, although I don't really want to be stuck out here. Not much I can do about this one. Manta's going to go very sideways. I actually turned in too soon. Through there, the Subaru got in a little bit of trouble on the outside. Oh, that's sketchy through the temple. It's super sketchy through there. Couldn't quite make it work. We are now to the inside of the Ford. Now, we want to get past the RS200 in a hurry here if we are going to stand a chance at catching these top two cars. And I say that, the Ford's certainly not slow. Just the less cars between us and the leader, the better, pretty much. Manta with a big twitch through there. Struggling perhaps a little bit through some of these longer corners. We will fire the Quattro off after them down here. We all pretty much jump the water. Me slightly worse than the two cars ahead. I think the Manta looks the better suited here. We are going to dive from a long way back. Not actually quite what I wasn't quite going for an overtake, but we did end up getting the car there. The Manta was taking that much wider line through there. We will try and get our front end turn. Steve's got the Subaru figured out as a little bit quicker this time around through here. As me and the Opel fight over second place once again. Can we get the run on the exit to get past? No, not quite. That's fine. We will head into turn one and slide a little bit following that Opel. And again, I mean, it's not the worst sliding in the world. I'd rather slide a little bit less, but still making all right lap speed. We've pulled clear of the RS200 at the moment. I say perhaps kind of what we were expecting a little bit. See, that RS200 was very quick at the previous circuit. which was quite twisty. So who knows with this one. It's a little bit slow on the exit for me there. Yeah, we don't quite jump as far as the two cars ahead, but we are better into this next corner. Perhaps because we have just got the grip in this. The Opel's gone for the lead. That's good news. They bang doors, which will slow them both down. That's going to give me half a chance here to get involved in this fight for the lead of the race. The Opel very sideways. I wanted to duck underneath them, but there was just too many cars in front of me. Subaru is back past. There was a gap, but we went for the gap, but it was always closing. It's one of those, yeah. Pebbles throwing the car so sideways, and yeah, you end up leaving a gap on the inside. I appreciate I think they did wait on that one. Yeah, it's the downside of that line when you're chucking the car so sideways that no one else does. You're going to leave gaps that look kind of tantalizing at the time. Honestly, I do appreciate the way I probably drove myself into the wall a little bit more. I kind of threw my car to the inside when it looked like there was a gap there, which there was when I committed to it, and then when I realised it was going, it wasn't going to appear there, I couldn't back out of it in time. So it's is one of those. Yeah, I thought the Manta was oversteering more essentially than it was, so I thought it was going to be slow through that corner, but it was just the way the car was being driven. And yeah, it was a slight misjudgment from, well, perhaps from both of us a little bit. That line works all right maybe when you're on your own, but in battles you've also got to be wary of other cars doing that, because I could have easily, to avoid clonking the wall, just drifted straight into the car sliding, and we both would have lost a load of time. So yeah, it happens. It's a shame. It's a shame it goes that way, because it was shaping up to be a really good race. Shaping up to be a really, really good race. But alas, we will fly through the air, and we will try desperately to chase down this Ford on the final lap. Ford being gifted second place a little bit, although it's certainly not slow around here. We will see if we can do anything. Oh, Ford maybe a little wide. It's still going to be a big enough lead. We can try and be really neat and tidy through there. Jump on the throttle as soon as I dare, but of course that tight line, you're always going to be slower on the exit essentially. The Ford is going to be clear of all of this as we head into the temple. I still as well through there. We reeled at the Ford back in, but we just ran out of time to do anything about it. It was a good race. It's a shame. It's shaping up to be a three-car battle at the front, and unfortunately, yeah, in my haste to try and get after that Subaru, it didn't quite work. I mean, we were very close in lap time there. Very, very close. Much closer than we'd seen so far in all of this. All three of our cars had different strengths and weaknesses. I mean, the RS200 wasn't too far back, neither were Shadow's Mantas. So, yeah, it's the way it goes. Apparently, after the last couple of weeks of having a second-place car, today we have a third-place car. Nothing if not consistent. For our final race with these rally monsters, we have come to the River Scramble circuit. I don't think this is going to be the strongest track for my car. I think the twistier the circuit we go to, the better the Audi seems to do. Was not the intention. I know I often do tend to build handling cars, not really the intention with this one. I actually picked the Audi because I haven't used it before and I wanted an excuse to drive it, and it seemed like a good option. But yeah, it does seem to be the case that we don't quite have the straight line speed, but we are very, very good in the twisty stuff. And there are a couple of twisty corners around this circuit, which we probably won't be too bad at, but I think we're going to get out accelerated, certainly up over the hill around the halfway around the lap. I think we're going to struggle for pace, but we shall see how it goes, basically. We'll give it the best we got and see what happens. I suspect it's going to be another podium battle for us. Hopefully it'll be for second rather than for third, but you never know. The Subaru is off to the front. We got miles of understeer through there that I wasn't quite expecting. I probably should have been, but I wasn't. Don't know if I could have gone across to the left, so we went to the narrow bit of water on the right-hand side. It's side by side with Mantas in front of us. Can I find a way past? Excuse me. Not quite. I have many wings. I have a scoop on the front. I'm like Behemoth. We might be able to scoop you out of the way. Oh, crap. No, don't overtake a car in the air. That's going to end in disaster. That's fine. We've sorted all of that out. Now we're just on the outside. Whoa! Cars are bouncing around all over the place. That is unfortunate. Now I have an RS200 on the outside. Might make that one stick, although it's still going to be on the wrong side of the road through here. Uh-oh. Understeer for me. Sneaky bugger. The Ford has found a way past, although it's not clear. It's just not quite got clear. Now it's our turn to be on the awkward line, and it's the brave line around the outside. We hold it just about. The Ford's not giving up, though. We are now finally clear of that. All this is helping the two Mantas in front get away while we fight over 4th place, and the Ford has found a way past. Although slides out of there a bit wide, we clonked the wall. Everyone's going to die for the narrow bit. We get slightly better through the water, but it is to the wrong side. Oh, missed checkpoint from it has been the ballad of the missed checkpoints a lot in this one. Steve has missed one, dropped back with the Subaru. That was kind of freaky, just minding our own little battle, and sudden Subaru in the middle of it all. We are not going to get this corner right at that angle. That's a terrible angle, and we're losing all sorts of momentum down here. RS200 is having a look. It's all out of shape. That's a very sideways overtake. That's twice now through that corner. I've had cars all out of shape. Oh, and then it bumped the wall. Okay, that'll put me back to 4th again. Just about every corner we've been sort of places with this RS200. Wonderful racing. I mean, the bump on the wall actually put me way out of shape as well, as I had to frantically try to adjust my car not to crash into the vehicle that was doing a massive endo. We've caught up to Shadow now. Are we going to be able to find a way past the Opel for a spot on this podium? We are looking and looking. It's a little bit ambitious around the outside there. Not quite worked. We'll duck underneath through here. That should work. Maybe if I've got the acceleration to do this, which I do in the end. The Manta, I think the Manta had to lift because it was on such a tight line, and that's how we got past, because I don't think we actually do have the acceleration to beat it normally, but we are now through and up into 3rd. We're not catching the 2 ahead. I think they might be a little faster than me around here anyway, and we don't have the laps even if we were faster than them, I think, to do much here. So yeah, all we've got to do now is no more mistakes, get this jump section right, which we didn't really. It wasn't the worst we could have done. If anything, I think Pebbles struggling a little bit with that Manta up at the front. Has been caught quite quickly by Steve, and if anything, I think we've caught that lap, and it's been a bad lap by me. If I could get a good lap, I think we're not too shabby around here, but I am struggling a little bit to get that good lap. To be fair as well, though, in the first few laps, we didn't really get much hot lapping practice, if you like, seeing as we were constantly side by side with a Ford. So yeah, there is that. We will try and be neat and tidy now and see what we can do. See if we can stand any chance. I mean, we might be able to pick up the pieces of any of the cars up ahead, miss a checkpoint, or have any, make any mistakes. We may be close enough for something, but I'm not expecting that necessarily to happen. If they do start battling each other and really slow each other down, I just don't think I'd have the time to catch up. And by the looks of it, the Subaru is just too quick around here. It's got clear. We've pulled away. I think the RS200 and Manta are having a big scrap behind over that 4th place now. This is a much better lap for us. Much, much better. I definitely feel like we've got some pace in this latter half of the lap. We are not bad at all, if anything. Yeah, we're quicker than the Manta through there. We lose out through the first half, and then we really reel it back in through the second. It's kind of what I expected, really, from the car. We just don't have the speed, the top end. Well, not necessarily top end, but through this section we are not as quick. But when it gets to the really technical stuff, that is where the Audi can shine. Can I do anything about the Manta? It's so little time now. Oh, and that's not going to help matters. Not a big mistake, just an out of position moment for us. We will understeer through there as I'm desperate to try and carry speed anywhere that I can. If we're going to get the Manta, it'll be essentially the downhill towards the tarmac is where we are super strong. So if we can be in a good place then, maybe there's half a chance. I think we're more stable than the Manta through here as well, might be where some of our speed is coming from. But it looks like we're going to be too. We needed another lap or a better final lap from me here. It was a little scruffy at the start. It's not going to be enough. We've caught, but nowhere near enough time to do anything. It's going to be another third place for us. Oh, it was actually the first couple of laps were fantastic. We got ourselves to third. I think we might have had the pace for second with enough time. Again, I think we would have had a very close battle with that Manta. Yeah, we were genuinely very fast there, not far off the Subaru. Which I'm happy about. If I can get within a couple of tenths of that, I'm fairly happy with the lap time. Yeah, just ran out of time at the end. The RS200 also quick up in fourth. Shadow fell to fifth, but did well with the Manta. Again, had a good race. Good race going on that one. It's actually really good fun. I was slightly worried about this rule set, these cars. They are quite mad compared to perhaps what we would normally race, and it started off looking like it might not quite work. However, we had 3 fantastic races later on in these that, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Audi was pretty good. The Audi I was pretty damn happy with, to be honest. Couldn't quite get a victory. We got a lot of third places, although we had a lot of bad spots on the grid, didn't help. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up and take part in the next one, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versa Community sign-up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.